This is the Sakar Murli of the 22nd of May 2023. Essence, sweet children, in order to receive help from the Father and claim your full inheritance from Him, become real children. Real means those who have total renunciation and make a promise of purity. Question: how is the Father full of mercy? What mercy does He constantly have for the children? Answer: no matter how many obstacles some children create, no matter how many bad deeds they perform while under the influence of Maya, if they realize their mistakes, the Father gives them refuge and says, "Okay, try again. Remove your defects and become virtuous." The Father is full of mercy because He knows that the children have nowhere else to go. The Father only wants the children to remain constantly happy. Song: the heart desires to call you. Om Shanti. Sweetest children, you can also be called gopes and gopis. There are no gopes and gopis in the Golden Age. It is a kingdom that exists there. Gopes and gopis exist at the confluence age, when Gopi Vallabh, father of the gopis, comes. The Father is called Vallabh. Children, remember the Father and say, "Baba, come once again." The children at all the centres know that Baba must be speaking a Murli at this time, and that Murli is being recorded on a tape. It would also be written down and reproduced by litho and sent to them. They will imbibe it and enable others to imbibe it. They know that the gopes and gopis in Madhaban must be listening personally to Gopi Vallabh, and that they themselves will hear the same Murli after 4 or 5 days. They must be having these types of thoughts. They say, "Baba, when you come, we will begin to smile constantly, just as the deities remain constantly cheerful." There the king, the queen and all the subjects remain cheerful. There is no name or trace of sorrow there. Here it is government by the people. You children understand that Baba comes and teaches you. Here it is the poor who study well, just as out of those poor people one may become an MLA, a member of the Legislative Assembly, or an MP, a member of Parliament. Here only the poor can study. It is the poor who become heirs. The rich have too many complications. Firstly, they have the intoxication of their wealth. And secondly, they have no time, and so they cannot sacrifice themselves. Here you have to sacrifice yourself with your minds, bodies and wealth. The hearts of wealthy ones shrink. They have so many other concerns. This is why the poor sacrifice themselves very quickly, and among them it is the Kumaris who come first. Mama too was a Kumari. She belonged to the Father and said, "Mine is Shiv Baba and none other." This is what is meant by sacrificing yourself. While living at home with your families, it is as though you are not there. Only the land of peace and the land of happiness remain in your intellects. We are now going to our sweet home and then to our sweet kingdom. While living at home with your families, you have to sustain your creation, but on the basis of Srimat. Only when you sacrifice yourselves can you receive Srimat. Only by having yoga with the Almighty Authority can you receive power. If you do not belong to the Father, you cannot receive power. There are real children and there are stepchildren. Even among sannyasis there are real ones and step ones. Some renounce their homes and families and put on saffron-coloured robes. They are real ones. There are others who are just followers. They live at home with their families. They are said to be step ones. They cannot be called real ones. They cannot receive an inheritance because they remain impure. Here too there are real ones who have a Rakhi of purity tied on them. Those who do not remain pure cannot be said to be real children. This is renunciation through Raj Yoga, whereas that renunciation is through Hatha Yoga. Baba has explained how people call themselves followers of the sannyasis and yet they still live at home with their families. In fact, they can neither be called followers nor sannyasis. They want to make effort for renunciation, but they have bondages. Only those who had renunciation in the previous cycle will have renunciation again. They become real ones, whereas others are that in name only. Here, those who belong to the Father are real children. It is the real children who receive help and the inheritance. Step ones cannot receive help. Baba has explained that this is the court of the knowledge of Indra. Here, all are angels of knowledge. There is great praise of the 9 jewels. People wear a ring of 9 jewels. Brahmin priests say, wear this so that your omens can change. They have even praised the gems. In fact, you children are those gems. You children become part of the rosary of victory to the extent that you become serviceable. Baba, who makes you into the highest on high diamonds, is placed in the centre. Human beings don't know about such things. They don't know who the 9 jewels are and why they are compared to gems. In the same way, you are compared to rivers. You are rivers of knowledge, whereas others are of water. Therefore you say, Baba, come, so that we can remain constantly cheerful. We will listen to your Murlis and explain them to others. Yes, we will then become princes and princesses and play flutes studded with diamonds. There is the desire to play the flute. Sri Krishna too surely had a flute and used to dance when he was a prince. However, to play or speak the Murli of knowledge is the task of the ocean of knowledge alone. The Father comes and plays the flute of knowledge. Matters of this knowledge only apply here. There is no question of this knowledge. It is you daughters who play this Murli, the flute, now. There is no knowledge of the 3 aspects of time in the Golden Age. There this knowledge will have disappeared. It does not continue eternally. At that time, there is only the reward. Knowledge is only received once. You are now attaining your reward for 21 births. Once you have attained your reward, Baba goes and sits in the supreme abode. Once I have made you into the masters of the world through this knowledge and the power of yoga, I go and sit beyond sound. No one knows me there. No one can call me the Creator or my creation. They neither know the Father nor the beginning, the middle or end of the world. This knowledge does not remain there. If Radha and Krishna were to know that they later had to become 14 celestial degrees, the happiness of the kingdom and the crown would disappear. This knowledge does not exist there. The Father explains everything very clearly. You are renunciates, and they too are renunciates. However, their renunciation is through Hatha Yoga. Those sannyasis renounce their limited homes and families. There is Shankaracharya, whereas it is Shivacharya here. Shiv Baba is the ocean of knowledge. He is called the teacher. Sri Krishna is not a teacher. God Shiva, the teacher, sits here and explains to you children. He teaches you Raj Yoga. Those are Hatha Yogis, they cannot teach Raj Yoga. Only the unlimited Father can teach Raj Yoga for attainment of the kingdom of the Golden Age. You have now come to the Father. Those people adopt renunciation for birth after birth, whereas you do not have to renounce anything for 21 births. You understand that this is the old world and that you are now kicking it away. Shiv Baba has explained 2 types of pilgrimage. One is the spiritual pilgrimage, and the other is the physical pilgrimage. The Supreme Father says, I take you on a pilgrimage and you will not return to the land of death. The Father is the supreme guide. His children are also guides. You are spiritual guides who enable souls to go on this spiritual pilgrimage. These are things to imbibe. You children imbibe these well and explain them to others. There are some who do not have accurate yoga. Although they imbibe knowledge very well, their yoga is not constant. Maya doesn't interfere in knowledge, she only interferes in yoga. It is the same as when a speech is being given on the radio during wartime and they jam the transmission to stop it being heard. Similarly, where there is a disturbance, Maya interferes in yoga. The name yoga is very famous in Bharat. Who taught this ancient yoga? They have said that it was God Sri Krishna who taught it. Sri Krishna only exists in the Golden Age. Then his name, form, place and time period continue to change. Now, in his final birth, the Father enters him and makes him that again. You know that Brahmins become deities, who then become warriors, merchants and Shudras. The Father sits here and explains. Whatever knowledge I am giving you will disappear. I give it to you through this one. So the foremost river is Brahma. A mela or gathering takes place at the confluence of the Brahmaputra river and the ocean. This Brahmaputra is a big river who imbibes knowledge and enables others to imbibe it. It is true that God has changed his form and come. He changes his incorporeal form and comes into the corporeal. The Brahmin clan is the highest of all. The Father gives this knowledge to Brahmins through the lotus lips of Brahma and creates the deity and warrior religions. There are no other religions in the golden and silver ages. They are being established now. Radha and Krishna become Lakshmi and Narayan. Those who have studied will definitely go into the golden age, because this imperishable knowledge can never be destroyed. Many subjects are created. Some leave and go on a tour and then return. Where else would they go? There is only the one flame for the many moths, so they will keep returning to the flame. Those who have run away will also return. Although they defame the Satguru, they still come back to Baba. It is explained to them that they can take up this knowledge again. They feel that it is definitely their mistake. Therefore they also have to take refuge, and they too have to be served. Continue to have full mercy until the end. No matter how many obstacles they create, they are still told, by all means come and try again. You are not forbidden to come. Baba is full of mercy anyway, and you are his children, are you not? They say that Maya made them wander around. However, they are still served. If they seek refuge, they have to be uplifted. Remove their defects and make them virtuous. The Father can never become an enemy. The unlimited Father would say, children, remain happy. He feels mercy for them. Where else would they go? There is no other place where they can claim their inheritance from the Father. The Father explains everything. If you cannot imbibe very much, then even a little will do. Acha, man above, stay in remembrance of the Father. Peace is the original religion of souls. Attention please, remain cautious. Remember your Father. By remembering the Father, you will definitely remember the inheritance. It is impossible for you not to remember the inheritance. By remembering the Father and the inheritance, you become liberated in life. It is such an easy thing. The name is given, Easy Raj Yoga. People become confused when yoga is mentioned. This means to remember the Father. Baba says, "O children, you forget the Father. You forget the Father who gives you a birth as valuable as a diamond. Do you ever forget your worldly father? If you forget Baba, you lose your inheritance. Have the faith that you are a soul and remember the Father. You are deceived when you become body conscious from soul conscious. The path of sannyasis is the path of isolation. When Bharat starts to become impure, they come and help it by slowing down the progress of impurity. They have the power of purity. Where there is purity, there is also peace and prosperity. A Kumari is pure This is why people bow to her. They all bow their heads in front of the deities or idols because they were pure. There is no question of bowing one's head in the Golden Age because everyone there is pure. Look at yourselves in the mirror to see that you don't have any evil spirit in you. Have you become worthy of marrying Lakshmi or Narayan? You have to make yourselves worthy. You children understand that Shiv Baba is the highest on high. Shiv Baba is higher than everyone, including Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, and Lakshmi and Narayan, etc. Only one Shiv Baba is like a diamond. All the rest are Tamo-Britan and worth shells. All praise belongs to the one Father alone. It is the Father's task alone to make the whole world into heaven. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bap-Dada. The spiritual Father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual Father. Essence for Dana. 1. Sacrifice yourself fully to the Father and to become a real child of the Father and claim your full inheritance from Him. Become completely pure. 2. Look at yourself in the mirror and remove any evil spirits and become virtuous. Listen to the Father's Murlis and imbibe them and enable others to imbibe them. Blessing. May you be a fortunate soul who makes all interaction with everyone easy on the basis of your doing everything in the name of God. For half a cycle you have been making a lot of effort in your interactions, in doing devotion and on the field of religion, and you have now been liberated from making that effort. All your interactions have now become easy on the basis of your doing everything in the name of God. You do everything just in name as an instrument. Those who do everything as instruments experience everything to be constantly easy. It is not interaction, but just a game. There are not storms of Maya, but according to the drama, they are gifts to move you forward. So you have been liberated from making that effort, have you not? Maintain the awareness. I am an elevated soul who has saved myself from making such effort. Slogan. To inculcate the virtue of sweetness in your life is greatness. Om Shanti.